Welcome back, everybody. It's now fight week, UFC 311, so about time I come out with my full card predictions. Starting off with the early prelim opener, Tagiro and Bekov and Clayton Carpenter. I'm going to go with Tagiro on this one. Carpenter is pretty good. He's had some good wins, but I don't know if they're top 15 level. Tagiro's ranked number 11 in the bantamweight division. I think he's a lot more experienced. He has some losses, but I feel like he gets this one. I'm going to say decision or late finish. Next, Ricky Turcios and Bernardo Soai. I'm going with Soai on this one. I know he got KO'd in his last one, flying kneed by Vinicius Oliveira. He did come on in short notice, though, and was out grappling Vinicius and was winning that fight. Ricky Turcios, we know him mainly from funny moments on Tough. I think he beat Raul Rosas Jr. in the first round, just around, not the fight. He got finished in the end, but, I don't think he beats Soai. I think Soai is pretty good. He's been doing this for a very long time, MMA. Started out 16, I think he's 24. He's pretty young. Gonna make improvements, and I'm gonna say he wins. And I'm actually gonna say finishes Ricky Turcios in the first round. Probably TKO. Rinya Nakamura versus Muin Gafarov. I got Rinya Nakamura on this one. Muin Gafarov's been out-grappled by Kyung Yao Kang. He's been submitted in a minute by Saidnur Magomedov. I don't think he's going to get finished in this fight, but just out-grappled to a decision. But I also will say that Rinya, he's more a pure wrestler than going to submit you or just knock you out. I think he's good, but, maybe Muin has more MMA knowledge, but I still think he gets out-grappled. Carol Rosa versus Eileen Perez. Carol Rosa is pretty known for striking mainly leg kicks, pretty much only leg kicks, but she's got good striking, I'd say. She's not swinging around like a toddler. Eileen Perez is she's pretty good. She has some decent wrestling, but I don't feel like she bullies Carol Rosa. In a way, that's how I'd say she wins most of her fights, but I don't see it going this way, and I'm going to say Carol Rosa outstrikes her majority of the fight. Maybe gets taken down, but I'm going to say she wins and maybe hurts Perez in moments. Zachary Reese versus Azamat Bekov. Azamat Bekov, I think, just stepped in on a week's notice or earlier. I have no idea, but I'm going to say that Zachary Reese wins this fight in the first minute by knockout. This is very 50-50. Bekov probably will win if he survives. Zachary Reese will hurt somebody to the body and only hit them to the head afterwards. That's what he did with Jose Medina. But very good KO over Julian Marquez. 20 seconds. I'm going to say he gets this one. Probably in the first minute by KO. But Bekov could win. Grant Dawson versus Carlos Diego Feida. Man. It's tempting. I'm going to go with Diego Feida on this one. I feel like he is very good. What he did to Rebecca and seeing Rebecca versus Oralby. He's very good, and the way he KO'd Michael Johnson, he's got power, so very good grappling and good power. And Grant Dawson, I feel like he kind of needs to just out-grapple you to a decision and might finish you. That's how I see his way of winning fights. I don't feel like it works here. I'm going to say Diego Feida kind of finishes him, either early or late. So I'm going to say TKO from Diego Feida. Moving on, we have Bogdon, Gusov, and Billy Aleksandar, who also just stepped in on short notice. I'm really confused because I'm on the UFC website right now, and Alekandar's a minus 162 favorite. I don't know if they updated it because Walker pulled out. That fight was supposed to be happening. But anyway, this fight, I just watched some of Billy's highlights. I'm seeing some technique, but in the PFL, I feel like Bogdan's a very scary guy to come on short notice on. and I feel like Bogdon gets this victory in the first round by knockout. Jailton Almeida versus Sergey Spivak. Now I'm thinking that Jailton Almeida probably won't just toss around Spivak or submit him in the first round, and this will be pretty competitive. I'm going to go with Almeida. He is really freakishly strong, but he kind of just dived on Curtis Blades, failed the takedown, and got finished. I don't know if Spivak does that. I doubt it, but yeah, I'm still going to go with Almeida. I don't think he finishes Spivak. I'm going to say maybe he gets hairy in moments, and maybe there's going to be some kind of just of Almeida laying on Spivak, but I'm going to say that he wins by decision. Now, Payton Talbet versus Shion Barcelos. Payton Talbot's probably going to get this one done. I'm going to say knockout round 1 or 2. I feel like Barcelos is a test. He's a crafty vet, but I'm going to say that Talbot probably gets this one and catches Barcelos. I don't feel like Barcelos' chin is too great anymore and is prone to getting caught. So that's what I see happening in this fight. Kevin Holland versus Reiner de Ridder. I'm going with Reiner de Ridder. I feel like Kevin Holland will just accept losing fights, and I can't pick him to win a fight. I'm going to say Reiner de Ridder probably submits him. I'm going to say in round 1. I know it is dangerous for de Ridder on the feet. I feel like Holland is a better striker, can catch de Ridder, but I'm going to go with de Ridder, probably taking fight to the ground, and maybe a rear naked or an arm triangle. Next one, Beneil Dariush versus Hannat Moicano. Now, this one's kind of interesting, but I will go with Moicano on this one. I know, pretty unfortunate for Beneil, he got finished in his last 2 fights, so it really just comes down to mentality in this fight, in my opinion. I feel like Moicano just better headspace, and Beneil a little more worrying going into this fight. So I feel like that's what kind of sets him back. If he wasn't coming off those losses, I probably would go with Dariush. But, he can still win in this fight. I feel like striking his is a little more dangerous than Moicano's. But Moicano isn't a bad striker at all. I am going to say that grappling will be very competitive. I don't see a sub happening here. So I am just going to go with Hannat Moicano by decision. Featured fight, Yuri Prohaska versus Jamal Hill. Now, I've been debating a lot in my head about this one. It's 3 rounds, so I see that benefiting Hill. Yuri's the type of guy to just break you, melt you under pressure. You have to put him out to win, or else he's just going to keep coming after you. But I am going to say Hill can catch him early, and I will say that it's going to happen. I don't know if I don't know what he's going to show up like. Either he's just going to pour it all out, or he might be reserved. Coming off a not too great loss to Ferreira. Hill's also coming off a loss to Perez. But I would say Yuri's is a lot worse and puts him in worse mentality. But he'll probably show up how Yuri shows up. I am just going to say Jamal Hill catches him. Yuri can do the same. This is also pretty 50-50, but I'm going to lean Hill. Co-main, Merab Dvalishvili and Umar Nurmagomedov. This one's pretty tough to predict. I do see this as very competitive. I know a lot of people don't. I am going to go with Umar. I kind of have to here. Merab's way of winning fights is just out-grappling you, wearing on you, kind of breaking you down. But Umar also does have very good wrestling and does match Merab, maybe might even surpass Merab in moments. And I will say he is a lot better in the striking realm. So I am going to go with Umar. By decision, I'd say. I don't know if he finishes the fight. I'm going to say he hurts Merab in moments, maybe takes his back for a moment, almost rear naked, but doesn't get it. So I am going to say Umar wins. Merab might make it close, but yeah, I'm going with Nurmagomedov. It's just really, is Merab going to break Umar down and just decision him with a 50-45? I don't think so. That's his way of winning the fight, in my opinion. Just kind of wearing down Umar and eventually using his cardio advantage, but I don't know if it happens, so I am going to go with Umar. Probably 3 rounds to 2 or 4-1. And now finally the main event, Islam Makhachev and Arman Tsarukyan 2. Rematch. I made a previous video, talks about pretty much everything like the first fight. And my prediction, yeah, I'm going with Arman on this one. I'm slowly becoming a little more worried because I picked Arman by 48-47 decision. Now, if it's really close, I'm pretty sure it's going to go to Makhachev. That's why I'm worried. It's just a question, is Arman going to make it convincing to the judges? Convincing enough to get the win. That's what I'm worried about. I feel like actual fight, not talking about judges' eyes, but I'm going to say he can fend off the grappling, could probably make Makhachev tired, and could outstrike him. He's just got to follow a really good game plan, kind of stay offensive, but not get tangled up with Islam, either in the clinch or the wrestling that can make him tired. Islam probably has better cardio overall, more experience. He's been 5 rounds time and time again. So yeah, I am going to go with Arman, but it is very worrying considering that how convincing will it be in the judges' eyes. I'm not saying it's definite that Arman does better. Islam could win. He has a very good chance to win, but I am slightly going with Arman. I believe he has a slight advantage in this one. I think he can fend off the grappling and the striking. He could do well, and I think he can win. So I'm going to say he wins, so I'm going with Arman by decision. It's not like I can just change my pick now. I made a whole video saying why I'm picking Arman. But to me, this is probably the toughest fight I've ever predicted. Yeah, it can go both ways very easily. I'm just going to go with Arman on this one. So that will be it for predictions. This fight is taking place in Los Angeles. Condolences to the losses that have happened in Los Angeles due to wildfires. And until next time, goodbye.